Hello and welcome to episode 141 of the podcast. I'm filming a day earlier than normal this week. Normally I film on Wednesday morning, but I'm filming on Tuesday afternoon because I've just been to the hairdresser and I like the way my hair looks at the moment because lately I've really been struggling with it. So I thought I can't waste a good hair day. I'm going to film. So I've just filmed the start of the next Vlogmas episode, which will be out on Saturday, and then I thought I'd film the podcast as well. So I've got one finished project. I've re-knitted a project, or re-knitted part of a project. I've got a magazine design, I've got cast on something new, and I'll show you the progress I'm making on my advent project. So I hope you enjoy today's episode. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. First, make sure I don't forget my 3 advent patterns. So the poinsettia blanket, the fantasy brioche shawl, and the rainbow dreams. I think that's what I called it, which was new a few weeks ago. It's like a cardigan, floaty cardigan type thing. They all use sock yarn advent calendar yarn. Obviously, if you don't have an advent calendar, you can use normal sock yarn or 4-ply yarn or fingering weight yarn. You can use full skeins. You can do it all in the same color. You can use leftovers. So if you have loads of leftover sock yarn, for example, or you can just mix and match the skeins you have, or any mini skein sets or anything like that. So loads of different options. It doesn't have to be a yarn advent. But those patterns are 25% off until the 15th of December. The code is advent24, all one word. I'll put it on the screen and all the details will be linked below. It's valid in my Payhip and Ravelry pattern shops, and I will link those below as well. And one more announcement before we start. Don't forget my Italian knitting retreat. We are going to Italy in April 2025, 7-day retreat in a beautiful boutique hotel in the Siblini Mountains near Ancona in central Italy. We are doing some lovely local excursions. We're going to do a botanical eco-printing workshop at a local place, and they also have a wool museum, so we're also going to have a look around that at the same time. That would be quite interesting. And we are learning how to make pasta. We are going truffle hunting. We're visiting some local places, so there's going to be loads of local culture, local food, and of course lots of knitting. I'm designing an exclusive retreat project. You'll get a goodie bag with all the stuff you need for the project and a few extras, and there'll be workshops based around the retreat project and the techniques as well. And obviously you can bring your own knitting if you want to. So that is in April 2025. The details will be below this video. If you have any questions, just send me an email or leave me a comment and I will get in touch with you. But please book soon if you are thinking about it so you don't miss out. Okay, so let's talk about magazine design first, because I should have mentioned this last week and I forgot. New issue of the Knitter is out. The Knitter issue 209. Yes, 209. Love the design on the cover. That is not mine, but it is beautiful. So I put out a video last Sunday where I talk about this design in more detail. I filmed the design before I sent it off, and then I added a bit last weekend where I talked about what else was in this issue. These are kind of the contents pages, so you can see everything that's in this issue. Some beautiful designs. I designed a brioche shawl for this issue. I was working on it back in the summer. It's knitted in Debbie Bliss Angel, which is a mohair silk yarn. It's a lace weight yarn. If you're not a huge fan of mohair, you can knit it in any other lace weight yarn, or you can also knit it in a 4-ply yarn. It's fairly, because it's a shawl, it's fairly flexible, but it's beautiful. It is an asymmetrical shape, so I'm going to see if I can show you this without showing you the pattern. That's the shape of it, and that just sits very nicely around your neck, and it's quite easy to wear as a scarf or around your shoulders. You can make it bigger. It's very easy to make it bigger. I talk a little bit about that in the video on Sunday, I think. So if you're interested in that, do go and look at the magazine. It's in the shops in the UK now. It is also available as a digital copy. Go to the just Google the knitter and you'll find it, and it's in the shops now. Last week I shared that I finished this hat for my husband, and it's the same hat that I knitted a few months ago for myself, and I'm now also knitted one for my daughter. So I left the markers in because I've just taken measurements and stuff today, and I am actually thinking, because I wanted this to be the same size as my husband's, because my daughter has about the same size head as my husband. If you've been watching my Vlogmas video, I do talk about this quite a bit more. I've been showing you the progress. I set myself the goal of finishing it by Thursday this week, and I'm filming this on Tuesday, so I finished it last night. So I finished it 3 days early, which, as I have knit one for my other daughter as well, is quite good. But when I was knitting on it yesterday, I knew I was getting close to doing the crown decreases, and I measured, and I thought I made it long enough. But when I finished it, my husband tried it on, and it's a little bit short. So if I compare it to my husband's hat, hang on. Problem with knitting is when you stretch it out and measure it, depends on kind of how much you stretch it, but it doesn't look like a lot, but it is a little bit shorter than my husband's. And last night I kind of said I will let my daughter try it on, and if she thinks it's too short, I will just undo the crown decreases and add a bit to it. But I am thinking about, once I finish the other hat for my other daughter, I might undo the crown decreases and add a couple of centimeters. I don't know, because I should have plenty of time to do that. So let me just try it on to show you what it looks like on me. I hate putting a hat on my newly cut hair, but never mind. So for me, I like to have this a little bit of loose fabric here. I don't like it when it's pulled right down like that, and that's on my husband, that's how it was. Whereas on me, he probably just pulled his hat down a bit too further than me, but on me it's like that. So it's just a little bit of space there. In comparison, my pink hat probably has a little bit more there. So I don't know, my daughter probably has a slightly bigger head than me because she takes after her dad. All of us have got big heads in this family, but my husband has the biggest head, and probably my daughter second. But it is a little bit shorter than the hat I knitted in earlier this autumn. Oh, maybe it's not. Yeah, it is about the same. So I don't know. I don't know whether I could do with her being here and trying it on, really. But so yeah, I don't know whether I will wait. I've got plenty of yarn left. So I don't know whether when I finish the other one next week, whether I will undo the crown then and add a couple of centimeters, or whether I will wait till she's tried it on and see what she thinks and then add a couple of centimeters. I can't decide. Anyway, got 3 hats here. So that's the 4th hat I've knitted, because there's also one that says, which I expect my husband's just taken the dog out. So I expect he's put that one on. But I've got them all here because I've been writing up the pattern yesterday and today. I've been writing it up for a couple of weeks, but yesterday I finished writing it up, and this morning I just proofread it and then sent it to my tech editor. But this one, the one I did for my husband, this one is knitted in Manos del Uruguay Alegria in the Orchidea colorway, which I have in my online shop. This one is knitted in Manos Uruguay Fino in the Morning colorway, which I also have in my shop, both in variegated and semi-solid colors. And then this one is knitted in the Discreet Unicorn. Yeah, I think it's the Discreet Unicorn. Sparkly sock. And I knitted this to match a cow that I knitted in the same yarn, which I forgot to bring up with me. So the cow, my sangria cow, I'll put a picture on the screen. That pattern will be out this Thursday when this video is live. That pattern will be available on Ravelry and PayHip, and there will be a 25% discount for a limited period of time, and that will be on the pattern page. But it's basically in this color. But it's a Mobius cow. I should have brought it up with me, but I will put a video on the screen, or a picture on the screen, so you can see what it looks like. But that was first published in the Knitting magazine a while ago. So the original sample was knit in a colour that was a little bit kind of like a burnt orange almost, which isn't really my colour. Pink is more my colour. So I had a skein of this in DK and in 4-ply from the Discreet Unicorn, and I decided to knit it up in the DK and do the hat in the 4-ply. So I have a matching set, and I wore it over the weekend when we went out, and I just love it. It's so soft and it's so bright pink, and I think it's a colour that really suits me. I think it suits me better than a pale pink like what I'm wearing now. So I will put a picture on the screen so you can see what it looks like, and I will link the pattern below. Okay, so let's talk about the hat that I've just cast on for my other daughter. So I'm knitting this. I cast on this morning. Yeah, my morning break this morning. And I knitted a little bit at lunchtime as well. I've cast on again in Manos Uruguay Fino in like a pale blue with a hint of grey colorway. What's the colorway called? Let's have a look. So this colorway is called Fog. Yeah, it does look a bit like fog, but really pretty colorway. I cast on, and I am just over halfway through the crown shaping, I think. So if you're looking, you might think, oh, there's a bit of a hole there in the middle. It's not. When you pull the tail, it closes up, just because I haven't woven in the tail yet. I've also realized that somehow here I managed to knit in my tail. That wasn't very clever, was it? But yeah, this I use the disappearing loop cast on method. You can also use the Emily Ocker cast on method. I have a tutorial on my website which will be linked in the pattern. But as you knit with it, this kind of hole tends to like open up a bit. But when you pull the tail, it closes up. So once you've woven in the tail, it won't show. But I'm going to knit on this afternoon. I finished the crown and then probably put it away for the rest of the day. Last week my goal on my other daughter's hat was to knit 5 centimeters a day, and most days I did more than that, which is why I finished it 3 days ahead of schedule. So I'm going to try and do the same thing with Emily's, do 5 centimeters a day. Last weekend we went to Trerice, which is a National Trust property in Cornwall, and I did take my hat with me. And my husband was spending some time taking some photos because he's got a new camera he wanted to try out. It's an old-fashioned film camera, like an old second-hand film camera, so he wanted to put a film through it, roll a film, just to make sure it was working properly. So he was taking photos and stuff. I found a bench and I sat there in the sunshine knitting. Then I knitted a bit in a cafe, and then I went knitted a bit on another bench when he popped back to the car with his camera equipment. So I got quite a lot of knitting done just being out and about. And I knitted in the car on the way there and on the way back. So I'm planning to do the same thing with this second hat to make sure I get it finished in plenty of time for Christmas. I am working on a present for a friend, but I'm not going to show you that because I don't know whether she watches my YouTube videos or not. I just don't want to show it to you in case she does, but I will show it to you next week because she will have had it by then, and I guess probably opened it, so I'll show it to you then. But I am over halfway through that, and I would like to try and finish that tomorrow, but I need to finish it by Thursday at the latest. The other project I've been working on is my Discreet Unicorn Advent project. This is not using up the whole 20-gram ball from each Advent, so each Advent has a 20-gram mini skein, and I'm using less than 5 grams, probably about 3 grams of each of them. So not a lot, so I have a lot left, so I am planning another project. If I didn't have these gift knitting projects I had to do, I probably would have cast on for the other project and worked it in conjunction with this project, because on this project I'm just doing 3 rounds in each colour. So 3 rounds a day doesn't take me that long. So if I had the time, I would cast on for this second Advent project and knit that in conjunction with this, but I've decided not to because of these 3 gift knitting projects I need to finish. So once I finish those, I might cast on for the second Discreet Unicorn Advent project. I know what I want to make, but I do need to do some swatching and a bit of maths to work out exactly how many stitches to cast on and stuff. Also, the advantage with waiting is to see exactly what all the colours are going to look like. So there is a chance I may wait and cast on between Christmas and New Year. Maybe have it as my Christmas Day cast on or Christmas Eve cast on. Don't really like casting on something new on Christmas Day because we're hosting Christmas here this year, so it'll be busy. I mean, it'll just be us and the girls and my father-in-law, so it won't be that busy really, but you know, there'll be other things to do. So casting on a new project that I have a focus on is not necessarily ideal, but Christmas Eve I might be able to do it because that's usually a bit more chilled. This is the project I'm working on for the first project with the Discreet Unicorn Advent. And when I cast this on, I didn't really think about how much yarn this project would take and whether I would need the whole Advent for this. If I'd thought about it, maybe I would have done something else. But I am loving this. It is knitting up really nicely. So I have the DK Sparkly Merino Advent, and I've just opened up, even though it's only the 10th today, I've opened up day 11 and 12. And this is going out of the 12th. So if you have this Advent and you haven't opened it up yet, this is a spoiler, so look away now. But this is... this was day 10, which I knitted up yesterday. This is day 11, and this is day 12. So we're going in a slightly lighter direction. So I'm going to take those downstairs with me and wind them and knit one of those colours up this afternoon. And then I'm going to go back to working on the gift for my friend, because I really would like to finish that tomorrow if I can. Last week I shared this mosaic scarf that I'd knitted, and I'd blocked it, and I added a little blocked section. I added a little section about what it looked like blocked once I finished recording the main podcast, because it was still drying when I recorded the main podcast. And I said that I thought it was a little bit too short, and it had just like straight ends, the short ends. And I just said that I thought if the short ends were like angled a bit, it might look a bit better. So I did rip it out over the weekend and re-knitted it. Re-knitted the end. I didn't rip out the whole thing, but I took out 3 repeats from either end and re-knitted it, and I was able to add on 4 repeats. It's a little bit longer and it's angled down into like a V when I wear it, but I haven't blocked it yet. So it's been sitting on my coffee table since Sunday. I can't remember whether I finished it on Saturday or Sunday, and I keep looking at it every night and thinking I really should block it, and I just haven't blocked it. So once I finish recording this, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to block it. So hopefully tomorrow morning, before I edit this, I can add in a little section here showing you what it looks like blocked. And then on Thursday, my plan is to try and finish the pattern for this and get it sent to my tech editor. She's already working on 2 other patterns for me, so I don't expect this will be out till in the new year sometime, because we're running out of time now before Christmas. But I want to get a few patterns written up and sent off to my tech editor before Christmas, so I haven't got that hanging over me in the new year. I've also ordered some more yarn, but it hasn't come yet. I was hoping it'd be here today, but it hasn't come yet, so I'll have to show you that next week. But you know the pink alpaca silk sweater that I keep wearing? If you're a regular, you will have seen it. I knitted it when I was in Norway last time in November, and I've knitted 2 previously, but this time I went down a couple of needle sizes, and I'm much happier with it, and I keep wearing it. And even though I have other knitted sweaters as well, this is the one I keep going back to again and again and again. I wore it on Sunday when we went to Trerice, and I really liked it. It was quite a chilly, quite a windy day, but it was sunny, so it wasn't too cold, and it was quite nice actually wearing it, walking around the garden. And it meant that I could keep it on when we went in the house. If I was wearing a winter coat, I would have wanted to take it off in the house because it would have been too warm, whereas this I could just keep on, and I just love wearing it. And I have been thinking about knitting another one. Last time I bought the yarn in Norway, or I ordered it in Norway before I left and had it shipped to my parents. I'm going back to Norway in February, so I was thinking about ordering it then and getting it shipped to my parents. But then I thought, by the time I finish it, it's going to be March by the time I get back. We're coming towards the end of the winter. And because I'm wearing the pink one so much, I really want another one to wear now, not in March. There's a yarn shop in this country that sells the same yarn. And when I checked last time I ordered it, I didn't think there was a lot of difference in the price. So I had a night a couple of days ago where I couldn't sleep, and I got up in the middle of the night and I kept thinking about it, and I just Googled it, and I have ordered some yarn, but it hasn't come yet. So I will be casting on another sweater hopefully next week. I need to finish these gift knitting projects before I cast on anything else. And I would kind of like to finish it by the end of the year. I know the last one I knitted in 2 weeks when I was in Norway, but the second week especially I did knit a lot, and I don't expect I will knit it that quickly here, but it'd be nice to get it finished by kind of early January so I can wear it. I had looked at colours last time I was in Norway because one of the shops I went to had quite a lot of those colours, and I would really like to do it in like a bright purple, but they didn't do that. So I had looked at a royal blue, quite a bright royal blue, which I really liked, and they also had like a sort of I would say like a bluebell blue, bluey purple. I don't know, it's a very nice colour. But I was also thinking, because I do wear a lot of black, and when I wear my pink one with black tops, I wear a lot of these kind of tops, long sleeve t-shirts in a kind of fairly thin material, but that means that sometimes, especially in the afternoon, it gets a bit chilly. So putting a pink top over on a black one will mean that I end up with a bit of pink fluff on my black sweaters. This yarn doesn't shed a lot. It's not like mohair yarn, it doesn't shed a lot, but it does shed a little bit. So I thought probably the sensible thing is to knit it in a dark grey, so like a charcoal grey, because then I can wear it with my black tops, and that would probably be quite sensible. So that's the colour I ordered. The shop I ordered from didn't have the other two colours I was thinking about getting, so I ordered it in a dark grey, and my goal is, before I cast it on next week, is to actually write the pattern properly. I've got it written up in my size, but I need to write it properly because I've been promising to do that for over a year now and not getting around to it. But now I've changed needle size, I'm much happier with it, so I will write up the pattern, and my goal is to do that next week before I cast on. But I'm really excited about knitting another one because I do wear that more than any other jumper I have, even more than any like store-bought jumper I have. So I thought I might as well get the yarn to knit another one now rather than wait and do it at the end of the winter. I may still get yarn for another one when I go to Norway in February and knit it in another colour. I wouldn't mind having it in several colours because it's such a versatile jumper, but at least I can knit up a dark grey one, which I wanted to do for a while. So I did go back through my bank account and look at what I paid for the yarn I ordered in Norway and had shipped to my parents. So with shipping, I looked at how much I turned that to be in pounds, and then the yarn I ordered here with shipping was actually costing me £10 less, so £10 less for the sweater. So I thought it would be slightly cheaper in Norway, about the same. When your money is coming out of a British bank account, spending money in Norway now is really good because it's a lot cheaper than it used to be. The exchange rate used to be about 11 kroner, 10, 11 kroner to a pound for many years. Now it's 14. I'm sure earlier in the year it was like 13 something. Last moment it was about 14, or slightly over 14. So it is very good for us shopping in Norway at the moment, but it was still cheaper here to buy it. So that was another. Once I realized that, I was like, I'm going to order it. So I will show you that when it arrives next week. That is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more of what my yarn advents look like and some of the stuff I've been getting up to, then do go and check out my Vlogmas videos. There was one out last Saturday where we went to Buckland Abbey on the edge of Dartmoor, and I did loads of knitting and opened up advents. And then on Sunday was my video on the brioche roll from the Knitted 209. Then on Tuesday was another Vlogmas video where we went to Trerice in UK in Cornwall, plus advents and knitting. It was a very stormy weekend last weekend, so if you're in the UK, I hope you're safe and you didn't have any damage. I know parts of the southwest and Wales and maybe other parts of the country had a red weather warning, which is very rare. So I hope if you were affected by this storm, I guess also if you lived in Ireland, you were probably affected by it. I hope you were safe and didn't have any damage to your property. That is it for today. Thanks for watching. I will see you next week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And I'll see you next week.